Okay, if you're looking at this now, I'm currently recording as I try to go live on the same thing for Kung Fu Havoc #2. I'm still trying to figure this stupid damn thing out. I'm not good with technology. Just record, damn it. What is more options? Yeah, I'm not messing with any of that. I did this before. I can't do it now. Alright, well, if this works, which it ain't working. Okay, so no, I don't know what the fuck FaceTime built-in is. I don't know what any of these things are. I don't know what advanced setting is. Allow chat, enable reactions more. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what any of this means. Okay, so next. Okay. Apparently, I'm not going live because I don't know how to go live. Which is a good thing I'm recording this as I'm totally fucking this up. Alright, so we're gonna kill this. Is this damn thing working? Come on, damn it. Public. I don't need to add a description. Gaming. I ain't doing no damn gaming. Okay. Okay. Well, screw this. Sorry guys if you're still watching. I clearly have no technology of anything. So, if it's still recording, which I hope that it is, yeah, it's still recording. Okay, that's good. Anyway. So I was on Facebook and I have to do this because it's fucking awesome. So the post was, who's your favorite superhero? As a comic book collector and superheroes were my only real friends in life, there's a lot of different comic book universes. So when you ask a question like that, you have to be comic book universe specific. Alright? And with the rise of the DC comic book TV shows on the CW or the WB or whatever the hell you call it now, because UPN doesn't exist, but since the rise of those shows, maybe they'll convince the people to bring back Birds of Prey. I need a job. But anyway, if you're gonna go comic book superheroes and who's your favorite, you might want to learn about like the 19 different comic books that are out there in the 19 different publication companies. And out of that, I only know maybe 7. I'm pretty sure it's more than 7. Maybe it's less than 19, but it's a lot of damn comic book companies out there. And your top runners, the 7 that I know are top runners, are Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, Archie's, Harbinger, and it's like, who the fuck are they? The guys I think that make Cadillacs and dinosaurs, which would make an awesome movie. And if anybody wants to make that movie, I'm an actor. I need a job. I know I'm not the right color to play Jack Chinrack, but I'll gladly be the sidekick. Okay, so as I was saying, if you're gonna ask people who their favorite comic book is, the reason why I'm making this video is because there's a lot of favorite comic book characters, and I have a ton of them. And if you want specifics for each comic book, I have a favorite hero. You know, especially like for Marvel. So let me break it down. For the Avengers, one of my favorite Avengers. No, it's not Black Panther. It's this guy right here, Captain America. All right, Steve Rogers. All right. Now, before any of the retconning of comic books, I knew all of their files, backwards and forwards. Now for my favorite Guardian of the Galaxy, not the new five guys that you all know, because if I had to pick one in there, then it would probably be Groot. But for the original, like 15 or 13 members, Major Victory, Vance Astro. Now, if you want to go New Warriors, my favorite New Warrior was the original leader, Dwayne Taylor, all right, aka the Night Thrasher. Before they killed him off for reasons beyond my control, which is why I stopped reading the fucking book. And if you want to go X-Men, all of them, good guys and bad guys alike. And this is like before the retconning of them when Colossus used to be 7'4" before he transformed. And then Wolverine, Colossus, Havoc, those guys in any order are my three favorite males. Jubilee, Psylocke, Asian Psylocke. Let me be more specific because I didn't like Psylocke when she wasn't Asian. She was cool and everything, but she basically sucked. She wasn't a fighter, and it was really bad. And then Madeline Pryor. I know she's a bad guy, but events made her that way. Okay? But she's still hands down one of my favorites before she became the Goblin Queen. But when she became the Goblin Queen, I still liked her. I still liked her because I understood why she was going through all the shit she was going through and stuff like that. There's many more, because there's Tabitha Smith, a.k.a. Boom Boom, a.k.a. Meltdown, a.k.a. I have no idea what the fuck they're calling her now because I haven't picked up a X-Men, X-Force, Excalibur, Exiles, Ultimate X, Unlimited X, X-Men Extreme. I haven't picked up any X-Men comics or any comic books since 2010. Okay? So everything that I know takes place before the retconning in 2010 and 11 and stuff like that. I stopped reading them because they just took every character I love in a different direction. It totally screwed up the thing for me, and I was like, okay, I still love them, but I'm no longer spending $4.95 on books where you're talking about shit that's way over here or way over here instead of that straight path that started way back with Stan Lee. Now, if you want to go deeper, another one of my favorite Avengers who was not in the Avengers movie and was in the comic at one time is Namor the Submariner. Now, I have no idea why they haven't had him in the comic. I don't know why they didn't use him in the Avengers. I don't know if they're ever going to pull him into play. Okay? My favorite Ant-Man was the first one and the current one. I didn't like the guy in the middle because he was just a douche. Right? But Scott Lang, the guy with the daughter who had a cause, and then Harry Pym, or Henry Pym, or Hank Pym, or whatever the hell you want to call him. Him. Okay? The original Ant-Man, who would later become Gigantic Man, who would later go back to being Ant-Man, and then would wind up being Yellow Jacket, etc. So those who don't know what I'm talking about, trust me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Before the retconning of comic books, before that word even came into whoever the hell thought its thought process. Comic books were great. Now let's go deeper into Marvel. I like the second Ghost Rider because I never knew the original Ghost Rider was Johnny Blaze until somebody told me, because I used to like the Night Stalkers who had Johnny Blaze, Morbius, sometimes Black Cat, and Blade. Those were the 4 Night Stalkers. So, and this was the days when Nick Fury was a white man with the patch. So you better keep both of your eyes on him. Now, that being said, I'm not taking anything from Samuel L. Jackson, who's made Nick Fury like the baddest black dude on the planet. Now, moving on. West Coast Avengers. The Avengers in Outer Space. The West Coast Avengers, Rhodey was my favorite. Yeah, that's right, War Machine. He went with Iron Man and them to the West Coast, while Captain America kept all the other Avengers in the East Coast. And then they took a whole bunch of other Avengers and shifted their ass into outer space. And among them, only one I remember was Hercules. Because I guess you couldn't have 2 gods on a planet. You couldn't have Hercules and Thor both on Earth. Then they even got rid of Thor and put in John James, somebody Masterson, and then they changed his name to Thunderstrike after him and Thor got to fighting over a woman named Circe. Don't ask, before the retconning and before Jane became Thor in the current comics. No, I don't read them, but I do keep a brief check on them. Let's get out of Marvel for just a second. And let's go into Image. You want to know who my favorite people in Image are. If you go back into Wildcats, my favorite one was Voodoo. Indian girl. Not Native American. The ones with the dots, not the feathers. And then there was Zealot. Those were my two favorites. And yes, they're both chicks, and I don't give a fuck what you think about me, but those two chicks were fucking awesome. Alright? And I like Grifter. I didn't really like Hadrian too much, but I liked him. I don't remember his code name. And I like Marlowe, even though he technically could have been considered a midget. Now, let's move on to Youngblood, my favorite. I can't remember his name, but he had the bow and arrow. And then there was Die Hard. I don't remember the rest of them, but those guys are the two that stood out. And then there's Spawn. Need I say more? There's Spawn. You know, badass assassin Al Simmons, Spawn. Now, I don't know if Image has been retconned. And also, Image has The Walking Dead. So, I didn't read the comics, but I like the comics. I keep up with them every now and again, and my cousin's a Walking Dead fan, so he's my go-to. And then, if we move on to Dark Horse. Dark Horse is one of the comics that has blown your mind with things such as RoboCop versus Terminator, Batman versus Predator, Superman versus Aliens. Someone stole all of mine for those, so yeah, wherever they are, they're gone. I don't have money to go and rebuy them, but if they ever make a trade or a graphic novel, you better believe the second that I find out from the guy at Atlas Comics that they've got a comic book trade of Batman versus Predator, Superman versus Aliens, RoboCop versus Terminator, I'm going to get all of those back. Because graphic novels are the shit. And then if we go into DC, let's go into The Watchmen. Yes, that's a part of the DC universe. They were a graphic novel, and they were so far left of DC. But everybody loves Rorschach and the comedian and Owlman. Not to be mistaken with the Owlman in the DC universe, that is the complete equivalent of Batman. Okay? Totally different Owlman. But Owlman in the DC universe with Batman is the ultimate nemesis of Batman. He's Batman. He's just evil Bruce Wayne instead of good Bruce Wayne. Now, if we're going to go into that, Damian Wayne, Terry McGinnis, and the original Batman are my three favorites in the Batman saga. If you're going to go into Flash, I'm sorry, I only have one favorite Flash, and that's Barry Allen. It's nothing personal against Wally West. It's nothing personal against Impulse or the twins, but Barry Allen, for me, is the Flash. Not Jay Garrick, not Wally, not Impulse, Barry Allen. The best Flash. Everybody's going to hate me for it, and it's not because I like the TV show. It's just that I've always liked Barry Allen, and when they stopped him from being the Flash, I stopped reading them. Alright? Now let's go into Green Lantern. I only have two real favorite Green Lanterns. One is Kari Wynn, who is a descendant of Richard Reiner, whatever, and Hal Jordan. Well, not Hal Jordan, because he became evil, but the black guy, John Stewart. Yeah, mostly I like John Stewart because he was like one of the first black DC superheroes, and people don't really want to give him that credit. They want to give it to somebody else, but yeah, it was John Stewart for me. Anyway, moving on further into the DC universe, if we go into the Super Friends, the TV shows have did a fairly decent job, except for they like altered a whole lot of shit. And I like Green Arrow, but Ollie was like the most normal guy who would never kill anybody. Despite what you think about the Arrow show, Ollie was never a killer, which is why he was one of the best superheroes around, because he found non-exclusive ways of fucking people up. And he was still like a fighter, but he wasn't a killer. Same thing with like Gotham with Bruce Wayne, and when they made Bruce Wayne kill whoever it was he killed, I was like, yeah, they're gonna get a lot of feedback on that shit. But Gotham's a good show. You know, I missed the second season, but it's a good show. And then freaking, if you go into the Flash, if you go into Black Lightning, if you go into Supergirl, you know, each one of them, I have a favorite in there. I like Supergirl. I like her sister. Her sister's hot. And I like Guardian. However, like I said, each show has a different, but even in Smallville, they had the Martian Manhunter. So I like the Martian Manhunter, you know. And, you know, I like Wonder Woman. She's okay. I'm not a big fan of Wonder Lass and other things like that, but I like Wonder Woman and I like Supergirl. But they're not on my highest caliber of heroes list, you know. for DC Comics. And the only thing that I would ever say about Superman, I don't hate him. The only Superman I really liked was the Superman X cartoon, where he was a clone of Superman, but he was not weakened by kryptonite. In fact, kryptonite had no effect on him, and his eyes was black, but his pupils were green, which was fucking awesome. Google Superman X cartoon. It should have got more than one season, but it didn't, which totally was wrong. And I liked the Legion cartoon, which should have got more than one season, but it didn't. And I liked the Young Justice, but they went so far and they skipped so much, and I think the third season's on Netflix, but I don't have any money, so, you know, that kind of killed that. But if you're going into those 3 universes, or those 4 universes that I've covered so far, or 5, because I did say something about Dark Horse. You know, Dark Horse, their main thing that I remember, because they were the only comic that I bought from Dark Horse besides those other 3 sagas, was Next-Men. Next-Men was probably the best Dark Horse comic ever. If you haven't read it, then you should read it. Nextmen, not X-Men, but Next-Men. Basically, same kind of thing, but pretty awesome, and there's nudity in the comics, so if you're under 18, you can't buy it. Anyway, that being said, we're moving on to another top 5, which is Archie's. Alright? Archie's, their comic books mostly was the Archies, but I didn't read those. I read TMNT, the Ninja Turtles. Now that, on the other hand, they were fucking awesome. Alright? I didn't read the black and white ones, because when I started reading Ninja Turtles, I read the kid versions. I didn't read the black and white ones, and they're pretty good too. I don't like how they did that thing with Splinter and everything. I like the kid version where Splinter is more of a human who becomes a rat instead of the rat trained by a human. Alright, now we're going to move on into Harbinger. I want to say this, but I'm pretty sure it's possible that I'm wrong, because I want to say Harbinger made Ultra Force. And if I'm wrong, then it was made by somebody else. But Ultra Force was still a pretty good damn comic. I don't remember the leader name, but he had blonde hair, his ponytail like mine, and he was badass. And then there was a guy who was like a zombie, and his arm could pop off. He would beat people with his arm. He was pretty badass. He could also put stuff back together. And then there was the chick in the golden chair, or the egg-licking thing. You'd have to watch the cartoon. It was a pretty good comic too, but the cartoon was better than the comic, as most renditions change, you know. And then let's go into another independent comic, and it had a cartoon, and it was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs with Jack Chinrak. And Jack Chinrak was the guy going around. He's like he wasn't a poacher, but he fought poachers, and he would like try to save dinosaurs. People would try to make dinosaurs go out of control and run through the world and start destroying shit, which probably fed the idea for Jurassic Park, or Jurassic Park fed the idea to the person who wrote Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. But either way, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs was a pretty good comic. I don't know if it's still active, so when you post things about asking people their superheroes or their favorite superheroes, you might want to break it down. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I will post this on Facebook. For anyone else who wants to ask questions about comics, you can find me on Facebook, or you can find me here on Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.